What's up, guys? Do you want to get better at Uncharted Multiplayer?
If you
Are
got
you tired of always getting into lobbies and getting outmatched by other players as well?
8 health.
Well, awesome, because this video is just for you then. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I can supply you guys with the best tips and tricks on getting better at Uncharted Multiplayer. Now, just to let you guys know, this isn't your traditional standard shooter. This is a third-person shooter that offers you a different element of a game that's way different from Call of Duty, Battlefield, or any other first-person shooter. Now, if you're new to this game, whether if it's from, being a beginner from PlayStation Plus, from the game being free last month, or if you are a returning player, well, I also came back from being a veteran in this game since the closed beta, so things have changed. There's not as many tryhards, but there are a bunch of new people playing the game. So with that being said, I want to help and guide the new people and returning players into me teaching you guys the new tips and tricks that I have available to teach you guys. So I'm going to be going over my top 4 tips and tricks on how to get better, so things like this will not happen to you. So let's start with the first tip. Alright, so with the first tip comes from, me having a guilty pleasure of reloading or sometimes getting into a gunfight and not having any bullets in my primary. So I call this one the switch weapon hack, simply because, like, for example, you get into a gunfight, you run out of bullets in your primary, or you might encounter another guy on the team and you just want to switch your weapons, but if you know from the tutorial that you can switch weapons with the left and right D-pad buttons, then Uncharted has a nice little hack, I can call it, that you can switch weapons more efficiently so you won't get your fingers misplaced on the buttons. So like I said, you can switch left and right on the D-pad to switch between your long gun and your sidearm. But if you aim down sights with L2 and you press square, you can switch weapons easily this way. That way it's a lot more easier for you. Now for the next tip, I call it the grapple hook bait. Alrighty, so with this next tip, this one's one of my favorite ones because it's one of the silliest ways to get someone down in the game. So you can obviously, crank up your grapple hook and try to down somebody with it. So I'm actually going to do an in-game tutorial and commentary for this one.
Okay. So you were saying?
Alright, man, so one of my favorite things about the grapple hook is that you can easily bait somebody into getting hit with it, because the first instinct that your opponent's going to do is just roll away. However, you can keep holding it while they're rolling away, and then once they roll away and you get close enough, you can still whack them. For example,
Let's say you're just waiting for me or some shit and I'm just walking by. I see you, I'm like, oh shit, roll out of the way, but then you'll keep following and you smack the fuck out of me.
Yep, that's the unfortunate part about all that.
Alright, shout out to Dante for being my test subject in that, but I do want to let you know that doing the grapple hook bait is sometimes not as easy. I highly recommend it on getting into close range fights, and not necessarily like in this clip where you get into actual gunfights like this one, because then you might wind up getting ambushed, or you might see a whole team, or somebody might be in behind you or something. So you got to be very careful with doing the grapple hook bait.
Oh my god.
No!
And keep in mind with the grapple hook, there is a small window of recovery frames, so be careful. Also, like this guy right here, you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to just go around with the grapple hook, because then you might wind up getting shot at. Or you might get lucky and be the guy behind me in this clip.
Got you. Oh, wait, behind me.
I know, it sounds pretty easy, but sometimes it's not as easy as it looks. Avoiding grenades can be a little tricky sometimes, because there's just a little bit of dependability on how to dodge and properly jump out of grenades. So, as you may know, you can dodge with circle by rolling out of the way for most gunfights or grenades or anything like that. But I highly recommend on jumping out of the way of grenades, because if you roll out of them, you can get stunned like this, and you can still get shot at.
So yeah, I was just like really enamored, like with him.
He got
So instead of rolling out of the way, I would just say just jump out of the way by pressing X, because depending on how close you are to the blast radius, you could take damage and you could not. But all I know is that if you press X, in some cases just in time at the right time, you won't take damage, and you won't take as much damage of getting stunned, and you won't have to worry about getting shot at as much, so you can have a chance of fighting back. But the next tip is about throwing grenades, and grenades are pretty easy to use. All you have to do is throw them, you know, and just make sure that you throw it in the right area, right general area at least, and, you know, it goes boom boom on your opponent. Now, for some reason, I don't know why, but I feel like, in my opinion, I feel like grenades detonate faster if you throw them off of a surface. Like, you can throw them off a floor, you can throw them on stairs, you can throw it off of a wall, a ceiling. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter the surface, but if you do the trajectory correctly by aiming with L2 and then holding R1, you can see where your grenade's going to go, and you can launch it further, and no matter where it lands, if you got it in the right general area, then it'll detonate a lot faster. Now, this is a tip for people who want to play a lot more aggressive, or if they want to play in a more like assault way, but it all depends. With this one, he launches it straight off of a wall, landing near me, and it goes bam. So with that being said, I like to say that that's a good way on throwing a grenade. So without further ado, I really hope this helps for you guys who are new to the game, whether it's from PlayStation Plus, or if you are a returning player from back in 2016, or if you got the game late for Christmas, or whatever, if it's a birthday present, I don't know. But I really hope this helps you guys. I really appreciate you guys for taking your time out and watching this video. I really hope that it also helps you guys in becoming better players. Am I saying that it's going to make you the best player? Not necessarily. I'm not sure. It all depends on your playstyle. With that being said, I think you should have a look at and gander of different weapons, classes, and different psychics that will help you out. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for stopping by, and thank you for watching.